this tradition has been around for 25 years?
Oh, yeah. 25-year anniversary this year.
Oh, my goodness. The Royal Canadian Air Farce.
Joining us right now on the phone is one of the castmates of the Air Farce, Craig Lauzon. First of all, Craig, tell us how you became a cast member of the Air Farce.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's their 25th anniversary of doing this, and I think my first one was 15 years ago. I had done a one-man show that I taped for the Comedy Network called Ham I Am, and it was all my sort of monologue characters that I'd been working on. And they were very Canadian. There was a French guy and a guy from the East Coast, and I had my favorite character was my First Nations wrestler.
Oh, I've seen that one. I saw that one on YouTube, and it's hilarious.
Oh, I love it. And I got to work with Graham Greene that day. It was like,
oh, nice.
Growing up, so I was like, I got to make fun of him, and Charlie Hill, who was the headliner that day, was one of my heroes as well. And I came off, and he was like, "Great job, kid. It was really funny." Blew me away. Anyway, I made it into a show, and the producers had seen it, and one of the cast members from Air Farce retired, and they were having guest stars on. And they had the regular group of, stars from Canada on, Gordon Pinson, people like that. And then they kept 6 shows at the end of the season for unknown people. And I was one of the lucky ones. And they just kept having me back, and eventually they hired me on. And my first season, I did a thing for the New Year's Eve show, and been like that ever since.
Man, what an incredible Canadian honor.
Holy. It was... I got on the year that I did it. I can't remember now. The very first show that they did for their series was a New Year's Eve special, and then they got their series the following year because of how well it did. It got crazy numbers, like 2 or 3 million people, and It still does about 1 million every year.
We got Indigenous comic Craig Lauzon joining CFWE. Craig, tell us about yourself. Where you're from?
I grew up in the city. I'm from Ottawa.
Okay.
My dad's Anishinaabe, from the Quebec side of Ottawa, in Gatineau area, but I grew up with my mom in Ottawa. I always say that I am Canada. My mom's a British immigrant, and my dad's Anishinaabe from Quebec, who spoke French, and they were separated when I was 4. So boom, Canadian. But they actually did the separation as opposed to Quebec and Ontario, or Quebec and Canada.
Craig, Indigenous people, we like to make fun of ourselves, of each other. How did you get the love for comedy?
I've just always been, I wasn't the class clown as the kid who always does the crazy stuff. But I was like the class clown provoker. I would get the class clown to do stuff to see if it would work, and then I would do it later. I would, get them tested out. And
this little guinea pig.
Then I would take it out whenever I needed it. So, and I loved watching comedy growing up. I used to watch stand-up shows, and I loved Eddie Murphy's Delirious and stuff like that when I was a kid.
I think everyone did.
It doesn't really hold up. I tried to watch it the other day, and a lot of it's pretty homophobic and stuff like that. But as a kid, growing up, that's the important 11-year-old should be watching Delirious.
Yep.
We got Craig Lauzon joining CFWE. Craig, Air Farce New Year's Eve 25th anniversary is on New Year's Eve. Some of the skits this year, I'm looking forward to this. One of the highlights will be, you guys taking a jab at Justin Trudeau.
I played Justin for about 10 years, and then this year they really wanted to have him in a situation with an Indigenous scenario. So they felt it was important for me to play the Indigenous person. So I was like, I agree. So Chris Wilson, who's a new cast member this year, took on the role of Trudeau. And it's him coming to the reconciliation teepee on Parliament Hill, and just his sort of obliviousness.
Oh, my goodness. That is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
What will some of the other skits include that night?
What we have, we take a shot at Kim Jong-un, and he's with Kurt Browning, which is one of our guests this year, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
It's him training for the Olympics.
Oh, my gosh.
Which is pretty good. And we had Lloyd Robertson on the show, and he takes part in that same sketch.
Awesome.
It's going to be a fun one. Fewer guests this year because we wanted to concentrate on the cast and just having fun with each other.